This is how the world knows him. Vitali Klitschko, heavyweight boxing champion. But politics is a whole new game. Klitschko ran for mayor in his hometown Kiev in May. And although he didn't win, he says he learned a lot from the setbacks and intends to run again.
Comparing Ukrainian politics and sports, you might say it's like a free-for-all. No holds barred.
Klitschko thinks the Ukrainian capital needs a shake-up. This doesn't only apply to big issues such as corruption, he says, but to everyday matters, such as parking, too.
There are streets for cars and sidewalks, especially for pedestrians. And we have to build a lot of multi-story car parks. New York earns $2 billion a year from parking. That's a huge amount of money.
8 years in Germany showed Klitschko how good policies at the local level can make people's lives easier. And he says he intends to push at least some of his ideas through Kiev's city council. Kiev has long enjoyed a Central European buzz, and a prosperous middle class has grown up in the city. But the economic boom has its downside, too. The infrastructure can't handle the growing amount of traffic, and gridlock is pretty much a daily occurrence. But Klitschko says his proposal to introduce the sort of intelligent traffic management which is common in Germany was given short shrift by the city's traffic commissioner. A few days later, and Vitali Klitschko is meeting volunteers at a crisis meeting set up to organize relief for the victims of the severe flooding in western Ukraine in early August. He's just got back from the stricken region, and they're trying to work out the most effective way to distribute the donations. But disaster relief is just one of Klitschko's projects.
There are a lot of ideas, a lot of visions. You can do a lot to improve people's lives. Of course, we've got a chance to use our great influence and authority. We can open a lot of doors.
Klitschko sees relief work as a personal affair. He's quite willing to use his fame to drum up donations. His colleagues are full of praise for his management skills. They say he's interested in everything and think it's got a lot to do with his time in Germany.
I've got a feeling that he's seen a lot and that he doesn't limit his thinking to Ukraine. There's an international aspect to his thinking.
This evening, Klitschko takes time out to show us where he started his second career, at Independence Square in the center of Kiev. Nearly 4 years ago, during the so-called Orange Revolution, Klitschko stood shoulder to shoulder with the current president Viktor Yushchenko in the struggle for a new political reality in Ukraine. Klitschko thinks that was when Ukraine became a real democracy, and he still marvels at the demonstrators' stamina and determination.
It was packed. I reckon then there must have been 100,000 people here. Lots of people were standing. And what was really interesting was the extreme cold, -10, -15.
But the Orange Coalition hardly had time to enjoy its victory before it collapsed, and Klitschko had to run for office against people from his own camp.
Of course, if you look back today, expectations were much higher. And if you ask people now, they say they expected far more from the Orange Revolution. A lot of things didn't work, and a lot of wishes weren't fulfilled. But still, today's Ukraine is a free and democratic country.
Vitali Klitschko intends to stay in Ukrainian public life. He's set his sights on becoming the sort of politician he knows from his time in Western Europe. But first, he's got an appointment back where he first came to fame, celebrating his comeback in the ring.
Всего хорошего.